got done with Gonchar in the with the Ottawa Senators. He wanted that third year. Pittsburgh was not prepared to go 3 years at over $5 million. He wanted a third year, and not only did he get the third year that he couldn't in Pittsburgh, he got the money as well. So Gonchar absolutely hits the home run at his age to come up with 3 years. And let's face it, he's a point machine. 50-plus points is a given for Gonchar. And hey, Ottawa's been desperately looking for one of these guys for a very long time.
Gonchar's cap number a year ago was $5 million and now goes to $5.5 as he signs the 3-year deal with a no-movement clause with the Ottawa Senators and talked about his new team.
You know, all the time very exciting, and I'm very happy to be there because I'm going to play in Canada, which is very special for me all the time. Second of all, I believe Ottawa has a very good team, and, you know, probably missing a few pieces to really go far in the playoffs, and hopefully I'll field one of them. And, you know, we played against them last year in the playoffs, and it was really a battle, and it's not easy to play against that team. The team is very close, and it's the reason I'm signing with them, and it's the reason I'm coming over there.
Hoping to connect with Ottawa Sun columnist Bruce Garriock in just a moment. He was at Brian Murray's press conference a couple of moments ago. The Ottawa Senators make the decision. Won't pay for Anton Volchenkov, who's lower on the offensive side of things, but you pay a lot of money for a guy who's a lot older. Why?
Well, if you're going to pay money for a defenseman, you've got to pay money for a point-producing defenseman. That's when you look at Mikhailuk getting 4 or 5 years in Pittsburgh with 17 points, and you know Gonchar's a 50-point guy, albeit 3 years bothers me at 5.5. When he's 39, 40 years of age, you may be regretting the deal. But look, this team had a horrendous power play last year. He gives them a great push from the back end. They've had trouble getting the puck to the Spetzes, to the Alfredsons, to their skill up front. He gives them that. All of a sudden, look at their back end. Carlson's a puck mover. Campoli is a puck mover. Gonchar's one of the best puck movers in the league. Now they're missing a shutdown type guy. They got Phillips, they got Karkner, probably. And let's not forget Rundblad, who they picked up at the draft,
right,
who also is a puck mover and a first-round pick for St. Louis a year ago. I like Brian Murray's back end today a lot more than I did at the end of the season.
And you think Jason Spezza is pretty excited at a guy like this?
Yep.
Obviously, a lot of heat on a Jason Spezza, but now all of a sudden you add that quarterback. That guy can come up on the play, join the rush. It changes a dimension for Jason Spezza as well.
Brian Murray did hint that Jason Spezza strongly suggested that Jason Spezza is part of the plans for next year. So the Gonchar signing, does that mean that Spezza's off until somebody calls? Yeah.
Until
we know he was heavily shopped at the draft.
Until someone's willing to pick up $7 million a year, I think that we can squash the Spezza rumor.
Is Ottawa tough enough, gritty enough on the back end? You talk about the puck movers.
I think in the new game, you do need the toughness, and you have a Karkner there who will take on anybody, but I think the puck movement is way more important. I think that's what they desperately need. You can always pick up a grinding guy there, like he did Sutton late in the season. I like what he's done because puck movement is the name of the game in the new NHL.
Canadian teams have been very on. Join Ottawa Sun columnist Bruce Garriock, who is just part of the press conference involving Brian Murray dealing with the signing of Sergei Gonchar. Did you get the sense that Ottawa's done here today?
Yeah, I really did, guys. I think that if you looked at going into today, guys, they only had $9 to $10 million to spend. And they've still got to sign Reagan Campoli. They signed Winchester and Nick Foligno. So I think, obviously, that they're finished for today. I think that Brian Murray said he called Sergei Gonchar at 12:01 and made the offer, and I think they were even a little surprised with how quickly it moved.
And a comment on Jason Spezza's future. I know Brian Murray addressed that.
Well, I don't think that Jason Spezza is going anywhere, guys. I mean, Doug McLean and I got in a lot of trouble for saying that they couldn't move Jason Spezza, but I think that's just reality. I think that what they've tried to do today is help Jason Spezza, Doug, and what they're hoping is that making this move will make the players around Jason Spezza better, and I think that's one of the things you suggested.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, that's a big plus for Jason Spezza to have him on the back, Gonchar on the back end. There's no doubt about it. From getting the puck through the neutral zone for him and also finding him on the power play. I think it's a great plus. But let's not kid ourselves. Jason Spezza, if they could move him, they would move move him. There's no doubt in my mind. But at 7.1, it's tough. And the other thing I'm really disappointed in is why isn't his head on the screen? Was there not enough room to put Garriock's head on the screen here so we could get him a little airtime?
Hey, don't listen to that, boo-boo.
That's awful.
Hey, I
would put him in his Expo uniform.
Would you just shut up for a second? We only got a minute and a half here.
Derek Morris trade?
Derek Morris? Yeah.
Hey,
By the way, he re-signed with Phoenix today. Go ahead, Nick.
Great. Bruce, was there any sense at all that Ottawa was even contemplating a Paul Martin, Hamhuis, or was it obviously Gonchar right from the get-go?
Well, I think that they looked at all those guys, but I think that Gonchar was their number one. Look, Nick, they played against him a lot in the playoffs. They wanted a guy who was going to help them move the puck. They've been talking about it. I think last year, if he hadn't had such a bad year, they would have had some interest in Sheldon Sawyer in Edmonton. But I think that he was high risk. One of the things I think they really believed in, and if you look at over the last 10 years, Sergei Gonchar has been one of the most consistent performers in the NHL. I also told J.P. Barry that maybe this will put him back in the good books in Ottawa for what happened with Heatley last year.
Any concerns over the fact that he's missed some significant time? I know he played 62 games last year, but hurt in the playoffs. He's had a couple of tough injuries, and he is turning 37 years of age on a 5.5 times 3 deal. Is that the term or the injuries any factor?
One of the things that Brian Murray said today, Doug, is that one of Sergei Gonchar's goals is playing the Olympics in 2014, and I think he's in great shape, and that if that's one of his goals, that he's going to keep himself at that level here for the next 3 years. So I don't think they have any concerns on that front.
Yeah, 3 years away. The Olympics are 4 years away. Bruce, I know you got a conference call. Thanks for stepping in. We'll chat soon.
Good talking to you guys.
There's Bruce, well, at least Nick and I, outside of Doug McClain and the constant shots. Let's keep it here because Sergei Gonchar is going to join us in a couple of moments to discuss why he chose the Ottawa Senators when we knew the Pittsburgh Penguins had held talks. Things never really seemed to get on track there. And the San Jose Sharks also seem to be poking their nose around. And who else was it? Anaheim was also interested?
Yeah, Anaheim as well. Again, obviously a scenario where you've got to cover yourself. Niedermayer's out. They were looking for that quarterback defenseman. In Pittsburgh, the stumbling block was the third year. They were prepared to go 3 years, Pittsburgh, but they wanted the average dropped to around $5 million. Give credit to J.P. Barry, Gonchar's agent. He was stubborn. He knew that he could push the market to get that third year at a high-end price. And man, oh man, did he get it in Ottawa.
No movement, too.
And listen, give Gonchar credit here. He's walking away from Crosby and Malkin, and he's hooking up with the Ottawa Senators. I give him credit for that. He's going to the U.S., to Canada, which he said was a key part of it. He thinks Ottawa have a chance. He's going to be, without a doubt, their number one guy. He will help bring Carlson along. They'll mold Carlson into the type of guy Gonchar is. I think it's a great move by Brian Murray. I think it's a good move by the Ottawa Senators. So it'll be fun to see how it all fixed out. And give Gonchar credit for taking a step to leave those two big-time superstars.